Hello YouTubers, in this video I'll show you how to remove an ignition coil on the common GM 4.3 liter V6 engine, how I removed the rivets on the ignition coil bracket, and how I assembled the new ignition coil back into the engine.
I'm going to apply a little bit of throttle here and you'll hear it stutter even more. Please check the video descriptions because I'll put in links, kind of like a chaptered video, so if you don't need to see certain stuff you can just fast forward to the different parts and hopefully that'll make the video more useful for you. Alright, with the doghouse off, the ignition is just right here, this guy. So ideally you should probably do this job when you're already changing your spark plug wires, the distributor and the cap. That way you can also have a new coil wire. And that way you know everything will be running tip-top. So other than the very obvious top plug, there was one more to remove, which is kind of like on this module back here. It kind of looks like a heat sink like thing, this one right there. Anyways, just remove that. Where you see my socket, it's hard to see the screw there, and that's why I put the socket in there. There's a screw and it's a 10 mil. I'm going to try to zoom in to try to show you. There we go. So there's the socket, and then right behind it, oh my gosh, pardon the camera work, it's really hard. There we go. If only the camcorder will focus now. So there's that, and then right there, camcorder is not focusing on it, but you see the thread and the nut bolt. So those are two that I see. It's 10 mil. Remove that and let's hope that this coil comes out. That's how it looks like. So it's one of those stud nut bolts thingy. Didn't even know that. So, little FYI. Unfortunately, you see this bracket right? Oops. Let's get a pointer. This bracket right here. Okay, so it looks like this piece is connected to what's holding the ignition coil in, so I'm going to have to remove that. What you see right there is the ignition coil with the plug off. In my case, unfortunately, I'm going to try to zoom out here slowly and remove this. I have to remove my air intake because it is connected to the throttle bracket, and the throttle bracket is this guy right here, right on the side. It is connected with that same bolt that you see that I pointed in the previous clip. So I'm going to have to take that out. For most of you, you probably have your stock air intake. I have the Volant air intake here. For the stock ones, as you, they're just going to be like little rubber bits here, if I remember correctly, and they're just all 8 millimeters to take it off. And your intake will be getting cold air from the grill side in here. Okay, so you just got to remove all of this, and then the tubing that goes in the side, and then there's like a little plastic screw on the back of this guy which goes into your actual intake manifold, and there's a little clip which I'll show you again later. And you want to definitely inspect this vacuum line right here that I'm holding, this tiny little line. You'll see that it goes, that line goes down through your air con, and I forgot where it connects, but the reason why I'm telling you to inspect this line that goes all the way into your doghouse, and again that's why you want to do it, because your doghouse is already off for this job. If you have any cracks on this one, this line here is the cause to why you cannot change your vent position from stuck. I can't remember because I've had this problem long ago. It's either stuck to the floor only. Yeah, you know what, it's stuck to the floor only, so you cannot switch it to windshield or into cabin. if only it was stuck to the windshield, because that would be best case scenario for your fall and winter needs. But anyways, so if you lose vacuum, if this tube is broken, this tiny little one, it'll be stuck to the floor, and that's what you want to replace. Okay, so this is the little plastic thing I was talking about that's on the back. And then this guy, it as you see, it goes downwards, and pull it forward. Okay, and this is the clip I was talking about. So when you insert it back in, same thing, you're gonna kind of get the clips in, and then it will come down like that. Okay, I mean, once you take it apart, it'll be very, very obvious. So nothing to really worry about. It's pretty simple. Okay, so there's the air intake, and then there's the little nut that the back end goes onto, and then the plastic clip. So what I'm trying to show you here, the coil is up there, and the first bolt we took off is furthest away from us, the second one, and then we were unloosing this one for this bracket. And this bracket, even though I said you have to remove this piece is going to stay, but the reason why you have to remove this bolt is because you have to remove this as well to remove this whole thing, because it's sitting, as you see, it's sitting on top of the whole bracket that you need to get your coil off. Alright? So usually for these jobs, I'm encouraging anybody to do it with just like a cheap $40 to $50 tool set, but in this case you'll need a lot of extensions. So I've had to use several extensions. Go pick up pack extensions for like 10 to 20 bucks. And then you definitely want to try to get a magnet, because a lot of these screws you can easily lose. So by putting the magnet on, as you turn it, the magnet's going to stay put and you're not going to lose your screw. Alright? As I was going through the video, I showed you how to take off the throttle bracket, and that's because it's sitting on top of the from this angle, the furthest away ignition coil bolt. So it literally sits on top of here, and then there's the nut on top. That's the one that I should edit into a video so you can see it coming out. In case in point, here is the part in question that we want to change. So since it's really tight in there and it's hard to see, I do apologize for all these seagulls back there. From a top view, in the original part of the edit of the video, I should show it's easy to take this out, and then how it was kind of hard to see the rear bolt, but it's actually the intake one that I took out that was about in the middle-ish here. So I'm going to put it back in, and you can kind of see where it's shiny. There you go. This one right here. You do not have to take this one off, because that's the air intake. So there's the rear ignition one. I'm going to try to point to it. Rear ignition one. Do not take this one off, which is the longer bolt one that I showed you. And then over here will be the front one. Okay? But in order to get this rear one off, you have to take off, you may, just in case your vehicle is different from mine, I had to take off the throttle body bracket, which was just a nut, and then another one in the front, and then the side one that I showed you, and then that comes off, and that's why it's all loose right now. And then this comes off. Alright, so here's the new ignition coil, and there's the same holes you see with some screws and bolts, and that's why I had high hopes that once I removed this, all I have to do is just unscrew the ignition coil, but looks like I'm gonna have to drill these out because they're rivets. I really wish I had a drill press, a bench to do all my work, but we chose to live in the city close to family and where we work, so I don't have enough space for a undercovered area, even though we got 2 driveways, which I guess you could consider as a luxury nowadays. But yeah, no undercovered area, no workshop. Funny enough, even though we're working on the ignition coil here, I was pretty sure I had to work on the Camaro first, but with 2 kids, I have no time to take out the toy car. But that vehicle won't start out right now because it's got a bad ignition coil as well. So, but, well, another video on that one. looks like I'm probably gonna have to grind it off as well. So yeah, I'll probably have to take a grinder and grind these guys off. But it's going through. Just go slow and take your time. Don't wreck it. I'm using a 7/64 drill bit. Build it out. Here's the old piece that we're gonna happily discard. The bracket with the ignition module. I think it's the ICM. Okay, and I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. And then the other bracket, which I'll just get this last rivet out. Alright, so here's the new one in. And now installation is in the reverse order.
You take it that
Okay, so here's a better view of the throttle body bolts. That's the bottom one. And you're going to have this top one. And then that bracket goes on top of that nut or bolt stud that you put into the ignition coil bracket. And then you have the one over here that went through the side like this to go in like this way. Okay. And then of course if your doghouse is off, it's easier to put your first part of the air intake assembly back on from the back. Alright, moment of truth. I'm just gonna check my battery. Okay, my battery's a little bit low, so that's gonna contribute to a little bit of stuttering at the start. Oh my god, listen to just how smooth that sounds. Holy smokes, I should have done this a while ago. Wow, that is smooth. You can tell from my excitement that was a oops, I should have done that a while ago. Watch the beginning of this video, compare it to this first start. This is actually about 4 days after I started the first job, because as you can tell my son's not here wearing different clothes. So this is a cold start. And by cold start, yeah, it's colder for some of you guys elsewhere. It's only 6 Celsius today, so it's not uber cold, but wow. I'm ready to hit the coke. Coca-Cola Highway, Highway 5 here in Canada, BC. Wow. Yeah, I should have done that a while ago. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Please ask any questions you have down below, because I'm always happy to answer them and help you out. And as always, please help subscribe and like. Started to ask for that now. Yeah, I'm really excited. Gonna keep this vehicle a little bit longer because it's just such a practical and functional vehicle. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.
now. So right now, I am going to get one of the things are doing. So and then after that, now we're just gonna check all the shoes if they are dirty or clean. Yep. Okay, they are clean. So now this is what we do. Take one of the leaves from the ground and put them bigger and bigger and bigger on the pizza. And then you need to put them on one of your logs.
I like you're recording yourself. Nice. And you're gonna put on the log and do what? Hmm?
And then and then after that you take another leaf and then fold it
Okay.
and then put it